All right, well, welcome back. We're back on this Mustang. Finally got some parts in. Fuel pump should be here tomorrow. We got fuel injectors all set up. We got all that back here. We're going to finish putting the injectors back on it. Putting the coils back in it. Getting all the tubing run here for the inlet and the outlet of the blower. Finish up that. We got the controller for the fuel. Different mass airflow sensor. So we got all this stuff in. The only thing we're missing is the fuel pump we were waiting on since you've seen the last video. So I'm going to put all this stuff back together. Fuel pump should be here tomorrow. And then I'll show you putting that in there. Finish up the wiring a little bit. And then see when Rob is free that we can bring it up to the dyno and get it all tuned. Alright, so I'm just going to put this on speed real quick and put the injectors and all that back in it. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the video so you can see how this turns out. And we'll get to the track soon with this thing. Alright, everything else is coming along. We're same thing, waiting on parts. We got cars waiting for parts. Waiting on parts for this car, getting this thing up and running. Waiting on parts for the Cornet. And my car, same thing, the Comet, we're waiting on some parts. So, a little update on all that stuff, but we're getting there. But you know what? Just have a cup of coffee, have a nice day. Alright, here we go. Alright, well, we can put these injectors in. These are all going to go in here. Pretty simple. Got to put a little bit of oil on them. You can use anything really, just something to get the O-ring wet, top and bottom. All right, so you just push right down in there. Pretty simple setup. All right. That's one side. Alright, we're going to put the coils back in it. And alright. Get a little socket and tighten them back up. We'll go do the other side. Alright, so injectors are all in. Coils are all in. So these injectors have a different plug. I just realized that, so I just called Rob and he told me to get their little adapters. So I just ordered those off Amazon real quick. They'll probably show up tomorrow. EV EV1 to EV6 adapter. All right. So that's that. Let me show you what those are. So basically, I don't know if you can see that. They look like that. All right. EV6 to EV1. EV1 to EV6. EV1 to EV6. So I got those coming. I'm going to finish doing all this plumbing up here because I can still get to those, I believe. Or at least I'll check right now and see if I could. I'm going to start finishing up all this stuff. Another thing he got was this. So, Anderson. It's a power pipe, it's called. It's good for a little bit more boost. So we're going to put that on there. Got the controller from Rob. Okay. And then this is the, that's what we're using for the fuel pump. And this is what we're using for mass air. Okay. So we're not using that, we're using this other one. All right, so another thing you got to do before you put this elbow on. So this AC line, right? I just bent this way, bent everything down, and then bent that way. Because it was sitting right here like this, and it's in the way of the inlet. So you got to do that.
Hey,
what up?
Hey, what's up?
So once you do that, then you can hook everything back up. So that's another modification that's got to be done. Where with whichever inlet you're going to use, actually, you got to do something like that. All right. So be careful not to break it because we already broke one. Yeah, we already broke one. That's a new one.
It gets expensive.
The other one, as soon as I touched it, thing snapped right off. So be careful where you're bending it. I actually took this one before I even put it in the car. Started mocking it up and started tweaking it and tweaking it and tweaking it. So now I got enough room to put the charge pipe on it when we recharge it. That one there gets the pressure sensor. All right, so, and then this is gonna go here. It's a big ass inlet. That's gonna go there. And we already modified the upper radiator hose. All right, you saw that last time. All right. So quick mock-up. Got the AC line bent and installed. We'll be able to fill it from right there. This we just mocked up. Steve was giving me a hand with that, with his brute strength. Make sure that fits. So that all clears. This all clears. It's not clamped on yet. These will just clear. And then that fitting there should clear. We're putting big things in there. We gotta tighten it. We gotta flip these clamps around so that this clamp tightens here. That clamp needs to go back there to tighten from that spot. So, figuring it all out, a little at a time. All right, so while he's cutting that round stock, so this harness, all right, we made that one up. That's gonna go down into the wheel well to plug into the mass airflow. And then this was plugged in over here to the air inlet. So now it's going to get plugged in up here. So I'm going to extend this wire also. Right? So I got the second little harness made up. Got this piece cut off. I'm going to go put this in the machine and clean it up and then tap it. All right. So that's that. 3/8 tap. Got to make a hole. I need to go get the exact drill because God only knows where my drill bit went for that. We probably used it for something else, but you need another drill bit for that. All right, let's go. Start off with a small hole. Clean that up and go to another size, a little bigger. Alright, guys. Alright, it's always good to drill a nice pilot hole. And then we gotta go get the actual bit that we need so we could tap this thing. Alright. Put that in there. Alright, let's go get a tap. Alright, get that bung welded on. Daryl's welding for his own car this time.
Yeah, right.
That'll be done. We'll let that cool off, and then tomorrow we'll finish putting all that stuff back together. Alright, so we had to lengthen the wire for the mass airflow sensor. Got the car jacked up on that side, took the wheel off. We got to take that inner fender well out so that we can put the power pipe tube and all that stuff in there. Here's what I was talking about. These showed up. So these are little adapters. Here, let me show you how these go. So the old injectors, right, were this style. The new injectors are that style. So basically what you're doing now is it'll go on either way, like that, right? All right, and then, so those go like that, and then that'll plug into that, like that. So basically, that's what happens with that, okay? So you got the little adapter. There's another one. Going like push the injector over a little bit. Right. That pushes on there, and that pushes on there. So, like that, okay? So we're gonna do all those, then that's done. Injectors are in, coils are in. All that stuff is done. Like that. Make sure that clips on. That. This one, it's just gonna be okay, all right, and now we gotta take this inner fender well off. All right, Johnny, you start messing with that. I got half of the screws out already. Take the clip off, finish that. So we got the wire. This is gonna go down through the hole, down into there. This is gonna get extended also, and that's gonna end up going up here. Okay, so I'm going to put a wire loom on this, and then that'll be done. And I'll show you the next step. Okay, so the air inlet, this is a different air inlet temperature. We're going to mount this close to the throttle body, right? So you got a 3/8 tap. So the tube going to there is like a real thin aluminum tube. So it's, and this is brass. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a piece of this round stock off, drill it, and tap it for this, and then we'll weld that little piece that we're going to make like a bung onto the tube. All right, so I'm going to cut a piece of this down. All right, so we picked up a 9/16 drill, tapped it, all right. Pipe trap, it's a NPT, so it's This is like a pipe fitting. So that'll stick out. I got to tighten it just a hair more, but that'll stick out just past the pipe. The tube that is going to get welded to. So I'm going to clean this up, chamfer the end a little bit, and then clean up the edges. Wipe it all down with some acetone or something, and then we're going to weld it to the pipe. I'm going to make a hole in the tube, and we'll weld it to the pipe. All right, let's see what we're doing here, right? So the power pipe goes back on that. Got two fittings here. Got an elbow there. Comes around the bottom and hooks up to this valving. All right, that's like the blow-off valve, let's call it. Okay. Then this is all going to go in here like that. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm getting this set up. It's got to get attached to that. Got all my clamps on. Got my clamps on. We made this piece up, so we got the air temp control. I got this all opened up under here, and that's where that's gonna go, and the air filter and all that right there is gonna go down here like this. All right, so let me get a little bit further along here, and then you got this vacuum line. I'll show you what all that stuff does. On this, we got put new hardware on here, clamp on the filter. So that's the mass airflow sensor. We extended that harness. That's going to go back down and around and plug into that. And so all the clamps are on here. Getting ready to put this on, and then we'll go from there. All right. So we did a test fit. I had to cut that off of that, so top and bottom, to get it tighter, because when the tube comes through the fender well, it's sticking down, like it's sticking down here. So I had to shorten it so that it would go up, so you only got enough room. And then these two pipes here, they were just barely clearing, so I took a 1/2 inch off of the front of the tube. All right, so I'm gonna put it all back together and try it fitting it again. All right, so like I said, I shortened that little tube, the power tube up, which makes that fit better, and now I got clearance here. Right, because you can't do nothing with that. There's a box mounted behind that, so those tubes will be able to come around. So that's good. I'm going to put this back together now and see how this fits, and we should be good. All right, so nice, that fits good. All this under here fits good. That's how it's going to sit like that. I'll be able to plug this in. Those are all tight now. I can plug the mass airflow sensor into there. Got plenty of room. All looking good. All right. Let me hook up this inlet tube now. And the other hose. Blow-off valve goes to here. And then we'll finish up the plumbing. All right. So, don't have to do anything with that. This is all together. Wheels back on. Got it jacked up in the back. We're going to take the tank down. So to take the tank down, I don't know if you can see all this, but there's two lines there. All right, you got one line here. It's got a clip. It's got one of those clips. You unclip it. The other one just pulls off. Got a little harness right here, connection. Under there, you disconnect this one hose. Same thing. Squeeze the clip, pull it out. Take the fuel filter out. Now you gotta remember, there was no fuel in it. We didn't touch the key, so it didn't pressurize anything, but you disconnect the inertia switch in the back anyway, just in case. But so that's it. And then over here,
There's just
there's
a bracket here.
Yeah, bracket. One bolt holds the neck in, and another hose up there. Did you get that one?
Yeah, this one.
All right, and that hose up there, and that's it. And then you got a 13 millimeter on that side, and a 13 millimeter over there. So there's 3 13 millimeters, and then the tank, you're gonna have to like dip down this way and like slide it out of the neck. So the neck, that tube goes down into the tank. It's probably 8-10 inches long. So you gotta kind of slide that all out, and then just put a little grease on it before you put it back in. Another thing we just noticed is we were wondering where all this oil was coming from. It almost looked like it was coming out of the exhaust. And then we just realized the pinion is leaking. So we're going to make sure that's okay before we go putting the thing on a dyno. tearing the rear up. All right, let's take the tank down. Alright, so we took the black cover off because it's all full of oil. Can't even touch it. Look at this thing. Nasty. So we're going to blow all this off, clean all this off, change the pump right. There's no sense even taking the tank all the way down. We're just going to, so we don't have to play with that neck later. So we're going to change the pump, and he's going to clean off that plastic cover so that it's clean. And then I guess we're gonna power wash that off later after we get it back together. Clean all this up, and once it's running, we'll put it up on the lift and look at that. Make sure the fluid's full and see if we're gonna end up changing that pinion seal. All right, so we're gonna take off these bolts. We got 6 bolts to take that off. You got that clip for the fuel line and that clip right there for the harness. Okay. I'm gonna get that off. I'll show you what it looks like when it's under there because I can't video at the same time. Three, 4, 5, 6. 3, 5, and 6. Alright.
Screwdriver is behind you. Right here. Here.
I don't think anybody ever changed this pump.
You gotta take that one hose off or something. Watch your face. Hang on. I'll get the bucket. Wait.
Alright, so we got that thing out. We open up the new pump, and it's different. Make a long story short, without boring everybody, we're going to put all that back in. That's a Cobra pump, Cobra gas tank, and a Cobra pump. So it's a dual pump, so it'll outperform that pump anyway. So we're gonna put that back in because we can't use that one. It actually mounts inside the tank sim.
Actual GT
right. So that's
model.
for the new pump that we've been waiting for God only knows how long.
Yeah.
Is for a GT. This has a Cobra pump in it. I mean, in a Cobra tank. So make a long story short, it's all going back in. All right. So we just finished putting the little module in the trunk. Hooked the battery back up. Hooked up the tuner to it. It's loading the stock tune. It's saving whatever is in the car now. And then we're going to go to the next step. Alright, so this is almost done. And I'll show you what we're doing next. Alright, so now it's downloading the Vortech base tune so we could get it running. And then we'll bring it up to Rob's and put on the dyno and do all the fine tuning. So after this loads, it should start right up. So while that's loading, we got the key on. Make sure we don't have any leaks anywhere. Got the battery here charging on trickle charge just in case. And we should be getting ready to go here. So that's what was slinging all over the exhaust. That thing's leaking like a sieve. So we're gonna change the pinion seal, take the pinion off, the yoke off, and make sure the bearing's good. And if not, we'll change the bearing, the race, and the seal. All right. So I refilled it, and it took a little over 2 quarts. But I drained what came out of it into here, and it looks like 1, 2, 3, almost 3.5 quarts. So somebody overfilled the thing. That could be why it was spewing out everywhere. All right, so this is ready to go. Just got to put oil back in the engine. I'll let it down, start it back up, and then it needs to go to Rob's. So we got an appointment with him for next week. Stay tuned for the video, probably the end of next week when that comes out, and we'll show you how it goes. All right, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Keep up with the videos.